Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And we're still talking about who the next showrunner of Doctor Who may be, could be, should be, would be. Really, this is really weird. I don't think this has ever happened before. Well, I don't think there's ever been a time when the show was confirmed to be continuing. And I really think it is confirmed to be continuing without there being a showrunner or a producer or any production team in place to make it. I think this is somewhat of a unique situation. So it's causing a lot of people to talk and speculate, I guess. I mean, I honestly, it seems that showrunner seems to be a much more important role than who will be the Doctor, who will play the Doctor. Although, listen, if you get a garbage showrunner, he may hire somebody completely wrong to play the Doctor, which I think is what we've seen for the last few years. And I honestly, I just think it's because the dam's broken against Chris Chibnall. Honestly, I think that I'm seeing the same thing with Biden in the US, that the media's just like, we're covering for him, and then something happened and pushed him over the edge, and they're like, no, everything's bad now. Same thing with Chibnall. It's just weird. And, the weird and wonderful are things that we do. We do pay a lot of attention to on this channel. Why? Because they're kind of funny. It's worth take the piss out of. Fine. So we're going to be reading this article from Screenrant when they're going to be making another argument. It's going to be bollocks. Probably it's going to be bollocks. I haven't read it yet. Screenrant is always a fun little voyage of discovery to see what silly things they're going to be saying next. And then we're going to be looking at J. Michael Straczynski's run, which might actually happen. I'm going to be I think I might talk about that first. Fine, before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'll be fan-dabby double dozy. Can you hit the share button? Fan-dabby double dozier. If that indeed is a word, it is now. Okay, it is. Yes, you know what really is fan-dabby? Yeah, I've got something in my mouth. I have no idea what do you ever do that? You're talking and suddenly there's a bit of crud in your mouth and you have no idea where it came from? Or is that just me? It's always dangerous when you say things and you never know if this is a universal thing or if it's... Okay, so, you know what really is fan-dabby double dozy, and this is a bit of a silly aside, right? They have salt and vinegar flavoured crisps in Israel now. Yes! Freaking yes! Bring out some Worcester sauce ones as well. See, that's the great thing. If you live in England, okay, you got to appreciate where you live, because England has just an incredible array of fantastic flavours of crisps, or chips as you call them in the States. So we finally got salt and vinegar over here in Israel. I am so freaking psyched. Can we get a bit of cheese and onion? Can we get a bit of Worcester sauce? Anyway, so there you go. A little bit discussed about fan-dabby double dozy. Super fan-dabby double dozy. Of course, hit the subscribe button. We just broke, what was it? 3,140 subscribers. So we just went up to the next level. So thank you very much. It's not going to last. It'll never bloody last. It's not going to last. YouTube will notice and take people off. So if you subscribe, and there's another one. What the hell? What the hell is this? Maybe it's a salt and vinegar flavoured chip. I don't know. Yeah, it'll never last. As I said, it'll never last. So if you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. If you're not subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button, baby. Yeah, that'd be nice. And you know what? It's nice to be nice. So like, share, subscribe, comment. As always, I have a gazillion billion comments to go over. I should really start like collating them, or do like a comment show on the good. There's a lot of good ones. That's the thing. There are a lot of good ones. Maybe, I think I might make that a feature of my live streams. Yeah, you see. So people ask me, where do ideas come from? You just saw it, okay? You just saw one. You saw idea come from nowhere. Fine, like, share, subscribe, comment. Oh, also, check out my Indiegogo, and we are on course. I got a lot of work done yesterday. I stayed up late, actually, but I worked like 12 hours. Yeah, I think I worked a solid 12 hours yesterday to get this ready to print. 2 freaking awesome graphic novels. So yeah, where we are, I got the files pretty much done. I added in some new pages today. I have to letter 5 new pages that we're adding into one of the books, because the campaign's done quite well. Thank you very much. So today I'm lettering those pages, which means I've got to write the pages, which won't take long. They're pretty easy pages, right? And I want to rewrite 2 pages in one. You know what? I'll show you the books. First, we got this book, Biblical. So this book, ready to go at last. Rock and roll. I want to rewrite 2 pages on it, which means rewriting and relettering. I'm hoping to get to that today, maybe tomorrow, right? But that's like the last hurdles to get that one out. It's 220 pages long. Freaking awesome! I wrote and drew this, and I did quite a good job. Actually, this is my first comic, right? So you can really see me learn how to draw comics in it. If you find that stuff interesting, good. But yeah, hopefully you'll find the story interesting. Very, very biblically accurate without being preachy. I hope. So there's that one, and then there's this one I'm working on today. Hopefully I'll work on the other one as well today. The Imperium, a love letter to telly fancy. No, we went the wrong way. To telly fancy of the 1960s. James Bond, Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who, Emma Pill, The Black Slab from 2001, and Monkey in a Spacesuit, bit of Prisoner, bit of Thunderbirds. That's what I'm the pages I'm working on there, the Thunderbird pages. I'm going to call them Firebrand. Like, none of this stuff is really Doctor Who or James Bond. I wonder if any lawyers watching. No, I don't name them that way. But those Thunderbirds will be called Firebrands in my book, but they kind of Thunderbirdy. Okay, they look kind of Thunderbirdy. What do you want me to tell you? Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I'm kind of excited about that. Dominic Ratchet did the art. I can't remember if I already said that. But if I already said it, it's worth saying again because he's a freaking awesome artist. I love working with him, and I'm hoping we're going to be. I'm actually hoping that we're going to be continuing this into another volume. If you buy the book, in the back you have all the scripts and everything. You also have the synopsis for I think 1 or 2 volumes that can go forward with this premise. So you got those things. You get a bunch of extras. You get this wonderful poster, Noble Savages. You get the for the male gaze cards. Which this is the bit I'm most excited to see. So this bit I haven't done. I haven't got the files ready for. This is about an hour's worth of work. This is nothing, right? I just. Piece of piss, as we say in the graphic design trade. Piece of piss, mate. So yeah, go check it out. I reckon it's going to print Tuesday, Wednesday. I don't know. Maybe Wednesday, Thursday. But once they say it's going to print, it's closed. You're not seeing it again. And so then I can work on my next project, which is opening up a Substack account, which I'm going to be asking you to subscribe to, which will be free. Okay, that's free, and just good comics, baby. Just good comics. Fine. Let's have a look at this article. There we see a bit of Chibnall smiling away at us. Doctor Who's new showrunner should have no connection to the series. Well, listen, it seems that Chibnall didn't have any. It seems like completely disconnected to the series in every way, shape, or form. Certainly, he disconnected it to everything that went before. Before, we had the Doctor being a what we call a hero, somebody you aspire to and you look up to. Now we have the Doctor being a villain, basically a coward and a moron, right? Who believes themselves to be brilliant. That's actually an interesting premise of a show, right? If you have somebody who thinks they're a hero but really they're a villain, that's essentially what Doctor Who is. Under Christian, really, By the way, if you ever what's that James Bond movie? I think View to a Kill, the one with Patrick Macnee in it, where Roger Moore is just really too old and Patrick Macnee is really too old. This is Mark Gattis's idea, and he's 100% right. If you watch that movie, that neither James Bond or Patrick Macnee, Roger Moore and Patrick are actually spies. They're just two deluded elderly gentlemen who think they're spies. That movie gets so much freaking better, right? That's a real tip. And I like that. I like A View to a Kill. That's got. Is that the one with the super hot ice skater in it, or is that the one beforehand? I think that's the one beforehand, right? I think, or maybe View to a Kill. No, View to a Kill. That's the one with David Bowie as the not David Bowie. I meant Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken's the bad guy, kind of channeling David Bowie. Looks like they wanted David Bowie for it, but he said no. Anyway, and that's also one. Again, this is an aside. That's also the one with Grace Jones in it, and Roger Moore sleeps with. And Roger Moore's well into his 60s that time. Grace Jones is young and very when I say fit, I'm not meaning attractive. Oh, she was a beautiful woman, but very muscular. I was scared for James Bond there. I was scared for poor Roger Moore. Grace Jones is going to kill him. What a way to go, baby. You see, I wouldn't mind that on my death certificate. Death by Grace Jones. Okay, why Doctor Who's new showrunner should have no connection to the series. Okay, with Chris Chibnall's departure as Doctor Who showrunner looming, his replacement should have little to no previous ties with the series. Okay, look. This is a an idea that's being very, very widely floated right now because who was it? Philip Morris, who the big in recovering the episodes. I'm still watching Web of Fear. Hopefully, I'm going to drop my review on that, and I'm doing a live stream tomorrow. That review of that will come out on Wednesday. Man, that is bad animation. I mean, just bad. That review, I'm going to take some time and talk about how bad the animation was. Because it's so bad, right? It's so insanely bad. Bless them. I'm glad. I'm all for experimentation and finding new ways to do things. Didn't work. I can't believe they put that out. Anyway, so Philip Morris, he describes the problem that Doctor Who's in right now is the Fitzroy Tavern set. So the Fitzroy Tavern is a pub in London, in central London, where Doctor Who fans met regularly, like once a month. Now, when I lived in London in the 80s, I used to go there, right? I used to go there, and you had like all the fan glitterati there, Paul Cornell, and I think Russell Davies was in it. Occasionally, and this was all during the 90s, where the fans basically took over the asylum. I'm not sure I agree with him that their take on Doctor Who has been a bad one. I think Christian has obviously been awful, but I like the Russell T Davies Doctor Who. I like the Stephen Moffat Doctor Who, which is very much Fitzroy Tavern Doctor Who. But equally, I'm up for there being a completely fresh approach. Like, I would like to be surprised by Doctor Who, right? I would like a surprising new take on it. But I would like it to be good. Really, that's really the bottom line. What do we want Doctor Who? We want it to be good. Now, and there's no real way of defining that. We just know it when we see it. Or maybe we don't, A lot of us didn't like Capaldi at the time, and now we're like, well, that was a fond memory. Look, I'm watching season 24 as well for to reviews now, and that was pretty dire at the time. Looks a lot better now. See, that's the blessing that Jodie and Chibs have given us. They made all bad Doctor Who look quite good, right? Well done, the pair of you. As Doctor Who showrunner prepares his exit, which I think is probably a month or two out. The best choice replacement would be someone with no personal ties to the show. Doctor Who has been around in one form or another since 1963. I mean, I guess the 89 to 2000. Boy, this video is very distracting. Can I close that? Oh, so much better. Oh, I'm an old man. What do you want? I'm easily distracted. I mean, 89 to 2005. Yeah, you had Virgin Books and BBC Books and Big Finish. Fine. I agree. Has been around. As such, it casts a large shadow over television and pop culture landscape. Although the show went on hiatus in '89, it would eventually return in 2005 in a new iteration of Doctor Who was both familiar and modern, introducing a new generation to the Doctor, his TARDIS, and the Companions. Yeah, doing it brilliantly well, and at the same time being, a completely Russell T Davies. I mean, it's you're a fan of Russell T Davies as well, which I became through his Doctor Who. You do see like repeated themes in it, and that's like family connection. I just think Rusty Davies must be a really nice person, right? Like there's many values he has which I very much share, which means I think they're very, very true values, right? If people are with almost diametrically opposed worldviews have similar outlooks, then there's probably truth, right? So yeah, I do love his love of family, his love of human connection, his love of people, right? And so, but that was very, very much his Doctor Who, which wasn't very Doctor Who-y, but still it was. It was interesting. But essentially, I think that's why it was so exciting when it came back. It was very, very contemporary, very, very modern, very, very hip. It was good, right? It was good. It's like that magic ingredient called being good. I mean, at least I thought it was anyway. And I think the British public basically thought it was. They took it to heart. Almost 20 years after the modern revival, however, Doctor Who is due for another regeneration. Well, this is what Chibnall tried to do, in his defense, which I can't believe I'm defending him. This is what he tried to do. He tried to regenerate Doctor Who. Unfortunately, he's a talentless moron, so it didn't work out that well, So what can you do? I don't know what this is advertising, but she seems very upset about a bill. Fine. Okay, as we said, when it returned in 2005, Doctor Who was commandeered or commanded? I think commandeered. I think it's more press ganged. I think it's a much better word than commandeered. By showrunner Russell T Davies, a lifelong Doctor Who fan. Davies was the perfect person to revive the series. He introduced audiences to the Ninth and Tenth Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston and David Tennant, respectively. The latter of which remains one of the most popular Doctors of all time. Writer Stephen Moffat, again, the reason he remains one of the most popular Doctors of all time is because the Christopher Eccleston series was brought back and it just blew people away. Like, it looked like a cool American show, but it was so English. We had big red London buses. It was very, very Britishy, being British, and it was just great, right? It was just great. Eccleston, I liked him. He was an interesting take on the Doctor. It was very contemporary, very getting away from the mold of before. That's probably a misstep, you know. I think bringing in David Tennant, which is why I watched Casanova. But you should check out Casanova because it's essentially David Tennant's audition for Doctor Who, and it really is. It's fascinating. But it's why I watched Casanova, because I figured, especially as after they dropped that Eccleston's going to be leaving after the first week, which was that was a bit painful. I just think it was like Davis brought back Doctor Who, showed everyone how cool it was, how much fun it was, and just had everybody enjoy it because it was good. And then when you got somebody like David Tennant in it, who leaned very much into a more traditional posh Doctor. The Doctor's always pretty posh, other than Eccleston, but is either posh or rejecting being posh. David Tennant played him kind of posh, you know. You had the frock coat, and then Matt Smith went even posher. Moffat, another lifelong fan, served as showrunner from 2010 to 2017. Introduced Matt Smith, also incredibly 11th Doctor. Throughout his tenure, Moffat gave audiences both the best and worst of Doctor Who. I think that can be said more of JNT than Moffat. Moffat was then best and worst? I don't know. What's the worst? What's the worst Moffat did? I think it will probably be season 7, right? Season 7. Look, his first year, that Matt Smith year 1 was nearly perfect, right? I think as close to perfect Doctor Who as you can get for the entire year. The second one felt as good as the first, but when you watch it, it didn't hold together as well. And the third one, I like the experiment. I like, half of it was like these big concept, standalone episodes, getting away from the arc. And then it got a bit clarity towards the end. Then, Capaldi, basically, you can sort of see where the popularity of Sherlock exploded, and the introduction of introduction of the BBC diversity and inclusivity policies, just like hampering Capaldi's time in the Doctor. I love Capaldi. Oh, give me more Capaldi. That'd be wonderful. He seems like he's out, though. Right? He seems like out. Moffat was then replaced by Chris Chibnall, another lifelong fan of Doctor Who. And honestly, I thought he would be great. I did. I mean, I thought he was successful. I like that he was successful outside of Doctor Who. I kind of like Broadchurch. I just remember trying to watch his stuff and not really liking it much. Although I liked second season of Torchwood. I thought that was way superior to the first season. And I thought it would be different and good. And so that's when they introduced Jodie Whittaker. I was like, okay, I'm on board. Show me what you got, baby. Let's see where we're going this time. And then it just became garbage. 4 years after Chibnall's era began, it's quickly coming to an end. That's the vibe I've got, right? The vibe I've got is he was fired, right? He was. He said in Doctor Who magazine this month, a couple of days ago, that they informed BBC Worldwide or the BBC a year ago that this was going to be their last season. I think the BBC informed them, right? I think some people informed some people. He may have got mixed up who's informing who, because Time of Victorious was devised a year earlier. And that was after season 11, right? Not season 12. Season 11, when clearly the sales data was bad. The metrics were looking really awful. And they were looking awful. They were looking like they're about to fall off a cliff. But I think Moffat was like, no, listen, when people see the Timeless Children and the Master and the Cybermen and the Cyberlords, oh, they're going to love it. It's going to be so great. It's going to be stunning and brave. Didn't work out. It fell off the cliff, right? So, the response to season 11 was Time Lord Victoria. So the response to season 12 is Sayonara. But, BBC, idiots that they are, if it's performing as badly as their acting it is, then giving Chibs another 9 episodes, especially very, very exposed episodes, that's going to be like front and center of their centenary celebrations with Jodie Whittaker, who is just so freaking awful in the role. She's just so terrible in the role. It just reeks of corporate malfeasance, just corporate idiocy. Fine. Up until now, the 3 showrunners for Modern who have all been lifelong fans of the series. Yeah, but there's one of these things is not like the other. One of these things of not being like the other is Chris Chibnall. He's been a massive failure where the other 2 were massive successes. I notice they're missing that out, right? I mean, don't you think that's a relevant factor, right? I remember, what was it? After season 12, I was like, listen, mate, if it had worked out, it would have been great. Yeah, listen, if it worked out, fine, but it didn't. Nobody likes it, and it's failed. And the crazes were like, no, it's the bestest ever. At the same time, Chris Chibnall was being fired for doing the bestest ever, apparently. Okay, 2 of the 3 have been successes. 2 of the 3 have worked as writers on the show before being promoted to the status of showrunner. Well, Russell T Davies would have worked as a writer on the show, probably, if there was a show. And, he did the Virgin New Adventure, which they did a very good adaptation of on Big Finish. It's a very Christmassy release. If you want to hear proto Russell T Davies Doctor Who, get this cool. What's it called? Damaged Goods. Really good. It's a really good. I listen to it every Christmas just because it's set at Christmas and I like Christmassy things. Which again, it's always a bit strange being a rabbi living in Samaria, going, "Yay! I love Christmas." But I do. I love Christmas. It's awesome. Being said, although the actor becoming showrunner for one's favorite show is a dream, only a few have been lucky enough to achieve. And from what the vibe I get from Chibs, it's been a nightmare for him. I don't understand why he wanted to. I mean, because I guess he doesn't want to admit defeat, right? It's going to destroy his career if he left after season 12, right? That really would have been a complete admission of defeat. But maybe after being defeated, they should have admitted they were defeated. That might have been a good idea, right? That might be an idea. I mean, listen, it's always a good idea to just give a little nod and a wink to reality. Again, I think the Biden administration in America is somewhat regretting not doing that now, right? As they see Afghanistan blow up in front of them and the media just had enough with them. Only took 7 months, blimey. I thought they were going to have his back forever. I really did. Go figure, right? But you know what? I think the media's turned on him in the same reason that the fan media or the genre media has turned on Chibnall. It's that Chibnall has embarrassed the fans, embarrassed their supporters by being such a crushing failure. Same with Biden. He's embarrassed his supporters by being such a crushing failure. Although the actor Dream, only a few Doctor Who. The past few years of Doctor Who shows that a massive upheaval is long overdue. I mean, really? Yeah, but they tried to do a massive upheaval, and it didn't work. I think maybe going back to basics might be a good idea. As the show's next regeneration nears, the BBC needs to shake things up by hiring a new Doctor Who showrunner with little connection to the series. I mean, I don't know. It seems to me that Piers Wengel doesn't want to lose face by hiring Chris Chibnall. it seems to me they need to hire somebody who had a similar outlook and agenda and will just execute it in a more successful way. That's probably a factor. But then you got BBC Studios that are like saying, nope, nobody's buying this crap. Everybody hates it. Okay, like, again, reality is reality. So let's see what happens. There's no connection to it, but yeah, look, having a fresh approach, maybe not a bad idea. Audiences have seen every outcome that can occur when a huge Doctor Who fan takes control of the series. See, that's a really dumb statement. Okay, ideas are infinite. There's no. If you say you run out of ideas, you're not an ideas person. Ideas are truly infinite. You never stop. How do we know that? How long has the human race been around for? Right? We've been around for a while, a few thousand years, right? Maybe more. Who knows? Who knows or dares to dream? But we've been around quite some time. We're still coming up with new ideas, right? We're still at no point we go, yeah, no, we thought of everything, we're done. No, we're still coming up. The ideas are infinite, right? And so. Yeah, I mean, look, it sounds to me they're like saying, listen, our ideas have failed spectacularly, so all ideas have failed. No, it's just your ideas that have failed spectacularly. But even most ardent fans can crumble under pressure of taking over the series, thus resulting in a lackluster show. Philip Hinchcliffe said it's the show that finds you out. And it is the show that finds you out. Oh, it's always the show that finds you out. Finds you out if you don't have the talent, if you're not up for it. And yeah, look. Compare Sylvester McCoy to Jodie Whittaker. Sylvester McCoy came in a time when the show was in absolute freefall. And I think, along with Andrew Cartmel, turned it around because it found him out. It found out that he's a real talent. Both of them. They are really talented people doing great jobs that cared about the job they were doing. Comparing it to Jodie Whittaker's 13th Doctor, came in when the show was very successful, and they found them out. They found out that they just didn't have what it takes to do the job. Instead of hiring from within the BBC can look outside the series for the next showrunner. One of the many pitfalls Chris Chibnall's era was the lack of memorable characters. What's that got to do with him being a long-term fan of the show? Sort of. I mean, like, that's got to do with him being somebody who isn't able to write very well. There were more companions, but none of the 13th Doctor 3 companions ever shone brightly as the previous companion, Rose Tyler, Donna Noble, Amy Pond, Rory Williams, Clara Oswald. Yeah, because these are all characters. The thing that characters need to be good characters are character flaws, right? They need to have, which I think is probably Clara's biggest flaw, that she didn't have enough, right? She wasn't real enough a person. She was like the perfect girlfriend and the perfect teacher and the perfect this, and I think that's kind of what made her dull. Rose was a stroppy teenager, right? And she was a stroppy teenager with a very damaged Doctor. Donna was a stroppy 30-something or 40-something, I think, with kind of like a beleaguered Doctor. Amy Pond was short with people. Again, all these characters were characters. They had character flaws, and you loved them for character, and they were played like characters. Chibnall's characters aren't. They are genders and skin colors. That's all they are, and it's so incredibly transparent. That's all they are. Chibnall's attempt to revert to a more classic Doctor Who, more of its classic status, backfired immediately, as only an avid fan of Doctor Who would appreciate. Could have worked. Again, we're dealing with the strength or weakness of the Doctor. If it was somebody who was Capaldi probably would have been fine with 3 companions, because he's a towering strength of an actor. Same with Tom Baker, just about everybody are towering strength of actors and are able to cope with 3 companions as long as they're written well. Look at William Hartnell. Look at Peter Davison. I don't think it was an issue. The issue was, again, they weren't characters. They were skin colors. They were genders. They were agendas. To be fair, if the next showrunner has little to no connection to it, then they have less of risk of getting mired in trying to recreate an outdated show they loved due to nostalgia. That's not what happened. No. Chris Chibnall tried to have people say he was great and tell him he was fantastic by pandering to psychos that live on Twitter. Why? Because apparently he's one of those psychos that live on Twitter. So and he did that, and we got garbage, right? We just got garbage. Really, is this a whole article where we're finished? No, it's kind of a dumb article. Chris Chibnall was too much of a fan, so let's have somebody not a fan. No, Chris Chibnall wasn't a bloody fan at all. He was a fan of Chris Chibnall's. That's who he was a fan of. BBC can focus on its social creators who have shown an ability to create memorable, well-rounded characters. After all, the most memorable episodes of Doctor Who are all tend to be character-focused stories. Vincent and the Doctor, for example, what a wonderful character-driven story about mental illness. It was beautiful. It's everything Doctor Who should be, right? I loved that. I absolutely love that story. There are countless original high quality creators out there who can bring a fresh, unique take to Doctor Who. I don't think many of them are interested. I think if you can get Sally Wainwright, they're basically talking about Sally Wainwright, who I've never seen anything she's done, but she seems like a solid writer. Right? I like anybody who has learnt their trade doing soap operas. If you grind your work out in the sausage factory, you get good at it, right? That's the basic one. The more you do, you want to be good at anything. Time. Put time into anything, you will be good at anything. Most people don't want to put time into things, but what was that? The girl who waited? Not the girl who waited. The girl who lived, or the what was that? The one with what's the name from Game of Thrones? She says something like that. It takes 1,000 hours to master anything, right? Well, you're right. Time, just time. And Chris Chibnall hasn't put the time in. It is very, very clear. But you know who has done and who is good with character? J. Michael Straczynski, right? So. He publicly threw his hat in, and I think that was a good idea. You know why I think that's a good idea? Because public perception creates reality. We've seen this has been the downfall of the news media. They want to create public perception to create a reality, right? They wanted the perception that I don't know, Brexit is bad, right? Brexit was bad, so they worked very hard to create that public perception, and then they had a nervous meltdown for years and years and years when the public said, nah, nothing doing. This a complete. So yeah, they want to create a public place creates reality. So that being the case, I would like to say we've got to use that hashtag Sheen for 14, invented by Noah at the TARDIS Zone, and JMS, J. Michael Straczynski for showrunner. Was that hashtag out there for him? We should let the BBC know. That's who we like, because these are, again, people think that treat the BBC, the suits that run the BBC, like these nameless, unknowable gods that live on high upon on Olympus. They're not. They're human beings, and quite frankly, they're normally stupid human beings. They're kind of schmucks that kind of fell into their place. And if they hear us screaming, "Oh, J. Michael Straczynski," if they hear us screaming it, they may go, "Oh. Maybe we'll do J. Michael Straczynski." So he said this was about a week ago. Contact with BBC has been made. They're going through the process, which began before my tweet. I think it began a year ago. And I think everybody said no. All the rumors we had last year of there being a Russell T Davies Moffat comeback. Maybe that's what they were trying to get to happen, and they've said no, right? They said it's a tainted brand. I think Moffat might come back with Capaldi. Capaldi's like, nothing doing, mate. Nothing doing, not interested. I love J. Michael Straczynski, though. I think he can write characters, right? He writes characters. Why? Because he writes people with flaws, and you can't write somebody with flaws when you're scared of their skin color and identity. I think that's really what destroyed the Watchmen TV show, which they had one episode which was truly brilliant, right? Truly brilliant, which really played off the original Watchmen graphic novel, Watchmen series, and was perfect, right? Because that was the one episode where they weren't obsessed with skin color, just obsessed with skin color, and the rest of the time when they were obsessed with skin color, it was garbage. It was other than the bits where they were talking about white people, because they can't write black people because they're crazy racist. Anyway, kind of with the BBC been made. They've been going through the process, which began before my tweet about a year ago, I reckon, and that has to run its course. But if those don't pan out, there's this discussion we had. They will reach out. I really hope there is. Very courteous. We'll see where the process leads. So just to give you a little bit of hope about how great it would be to J. Michael Straczynski, Doctor Who. He tweeted, was it last night before? Just started rewatching Blake 7 from the beginning on BritBox. Oh, yes! That's the man we want for the job, right? This is the man we want for the job. He also said, yeah, look, I'm fine with coming to England to make it, right? Although, honestly, if he loses this bid, I think some smart channel like Netflix or somebody in the States, they should see if they can buy the rights to do Doctor Who in the US and get J. Michael Straczynski to do it. Who knows? Wouldn't it be weird if Doctor Who moves forward, but it's a rebooted American Doctor Who moves forward? And I see people go, but you know what? I'm open-minded. I think it could work. Nerderotic had the idea years ago of Peter Dinklage for the Doctor, and I think that would be fantastic. I would absolutely love to see that show. But you know, I guess I don't think we're going to be seeing it in this reality. Will we see J. Michael Straczynski take over Doctor Who with Michael Sheen playing the Doctor? Maybe. Wouldn't that be awesome? It really, we're at a point right now where we are at the beginning of Stingray. You know this old show Stingray, which I used to love the title as well. It also used to freak me out because there was at the beginning of the Stingray, I go bum 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 Stingray, Stingray, and then you'll see like Marineville, right? It will zoom right in, vroom, to the dude in the wheelchair, and I go right up your face like that, and I go, anything could happen in the next half hour, and that would freak me out. That would freak me out as a kid, but that's where we are, mate. Anything could happen. Anything could happen. Make your voices heard. Make your voices known. Let the suits know who you would like for the BBC. Because let me tell you one thing. One thing we can all say for sure is they have no idea what to do. So I find it pretty helpful oftentimes when you have an authority that has absolutely no idea what to do. Let them know. Let them know. Who knows? Maybe they'll listen. Maybe they won't. Who knows or dares to dream? My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.